Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing when will a dumper reach out? I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing when will a dumper reach out? So if you have been dumped, one of the biggest questions on your mind will likely be, when will my ex reach out? In today's podcast, I'm going to discuss 3 things to consider when we answer that question. So let's get straight into this, and number 1 is because of frustration. Now this is a situation where as a dumpee, you would not be hoping to receive such contact from your ex. If you're a dumpee and you want to try to get your ex back, you might be thinking, yes, any contact would be beneficial. But when we consider that one of the reasons why a dumper might reach out to their dumpee is because of frustration, as you can see, this is not ideal. This is not something which is going to help you get your ex back. The reasons as for why a dumper might reach out to their dumpee because of frustration are varied, but we can subcategorize them into 2 main sections. Option number 1 is negative, and option number 2 is inaccurate. So let me explain this a little deeper. Most times a dumper will reach out to their dumpee because of frustration will be because, firstly, the possibility that they have heard that you, the dumpee, have been speaking negative things about them. So possibly you've spoke to friends of friends, speaking in a negative way about their ex, about the dumper, or maybe you've gone onto social media and you've said some things, you've typed some things up, you've posted some comments which paint the dumper in a negative light. Now maybe the dumper feels that this is unfair, maybe the dumper feels that this is a private situation between you both. And just because they ended the relationship, that doesn't make them a bad person. This is an example of what a dumper might be thinking if they reach out to their dumpee due to frustration because of negativity. So if you have been dumped, it doesn't really matter if you want to get your ex back or not. The rules should be the same in your mind, and that should be you try to keep things between you and your ex as private as possible, and you need to be as respectful as possible to your former partner and about your former partner. Now, of course, every situation is different, and there are going to be things that you want to discuss with other people, but just please bear in mind, if you are speaking to friends of friends, if you are typing things up online, then this is something which could come back to haunt you, especially if you want to try to get your ex back. The last thing you want to do is have your dumper contacting you because they are reading or whether they have heard things in a negative light about them which you have said. Now, the second point, as for why a dumper might contact their dumpee due to frustration, is kind of similar but slightly different, and that is inaccurate things being said about them. So we've already spoke about negative things, but now we need to look at inaccurate things. If you are speaking once again to friends of friends, if you're putting things online, if you are painting a picture which is not true, which is not accurate, then this is where a dumper could feel the frustration to reach out to their dumpee. Now, even if you don't want to get your ex back, do you really want to be creating this type of drama? I think not. If you don't want to get your ex back, then you want to be moving forward in a positive way, making new connections, and you certainly don't want to be known as somebody who is causing additional trouble, who is causing drama, and is somebody who is surrounding themselves in negativity. If you want to try to get your ex back, then of course these things become even more clear because you certainly don't want to be annoying your ex in a way where they're reaching out to you because of negativity or inaccurate information. These things will not help you get your ex back. Now look, as I said, you will be wanting to discuss the breakup. It's very important that you discuss the breakup with your friends and family. But please just be wary that if you are speaking to friends of friends, people who both you and your ex know, that they are very likely to tell your ex what you are saying. It doesn't matter what this person says to you. Maybe they'll say, look, you can say whatever you want to me. I won't tell your ex. Don't believe them. Because either deliberately or sometimes subconsciously, without even meaning to, they will likely pass on this information back to your ex. Speak to your friends and family, but not people who are connected to your ex after a breakup. If you need additional help, you might want to consider speaking with a counsellor, a local doctor, or somebody such as myself. I have an audio coaching service, and more details of which can be found on my website, www.dateme.tips. You certainly should not be typing things up online on social media, whether you believe that these things are accurate or not. Keep things as private and respectful as you can. If you need to report something, then speak with your friends and family and take the appropriate action. Going online, going on social media is going to create drama, and it is very unlikely to help you in the long run. Even if you feel really sad, even if you really feel that your ex has treated you badly, please try to keep a stable mindset and don't start chatting online, posting online, and shouting about to people you may know, where your ex knows as well. None of these things are going to help you. So please stay stable-minded as you can and keep things as private and respectful as possible. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about when will a dumper reach out. And point number 2 is because they have regrown attraction. So when two people are in a loving romantic relationship, they are both feeling a high level of romantic emotional attraction for one another. Now, for various potential reasons, this level of attraction in your instance has unfortunately dropped for your ex, your partner at the time. And when it hit a certain low point, this is when they became a dumper and they ended your relationship. So if we consider that at the time of the breakup, the dumper has a very low level of romantic emotional attraction that they are feeling for their former partner, the dumpee. The only reason that a dumper will message their ex, contact their ex, want to speak with their ex again in potentially a way of reconciling things into the future is if they have regrown romantic emotional attraction. Now you might be thinking, well, how can they grow attraction if they've ended the relationship? How can I influence this? How can this grow? Well, there are many potential ways of how you can regrow attraction in your ex's mind, and I've spoken about them in many podcasts. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and ring the bell for notifications, so you are notified of all of my future uploads. Additionally, check out the playlists on my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to find more about what you need to know for your specific instance. There are lots of different ways of how to grow attraction. You need to look at things from your own angle and your own perspective. But if we're talking about a generalized sense, then what I would always suggest is that you implement my version of the no contact rule. The no contact rule is something that lots of people suggest you implement if you've been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, because it can really help enhance and grow romantic emotional attraction in your ex's mind. Now, there are many different versions of a no contact rule that you can find online, and I believe that my version will give you the best possible chance of success. I have a playlist on my YouTube channel actually entitled The No Contact Rule. So if you're going to check out my playlists, I strongly suggest you listen to the playlist all of the way through entitled The No Contact Rule, so you can fully immerse yourself in my version of the rule and understanding why I believe it will give you the best possible chance of success by regrowing romantic emotional attraction in your ex's mind. So if and when the dumper's mindset evolves to a point of where the romantic emotional attraction has grown, hit the necessary high point, this is when they will likely reach out to their dumpee, and there we begin the communication stage, where if the dumpee navigates this correctly and successfully, this can evolve into reconnecting and growing a brand new relationship on stronger foundations. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about when will a dumper reach out. And point number 3 is because of an ulterior motive. So unfortunately, there are additional reasons as for why a dumper might reach out to their dumpee that aren't connected to wanting to reconnect romantically. The first of these possibilities is that they are missing their dumpee, but in a platonic sense. So the ulterior motive in this instance will be that the dumper contacts their dumpee, but doesn't want to reconnect romantically. Instead, they want to friend zone them and get into a platonic friendship. This could be because they are missing elements of a connection with the dumpee, but unfortunately, these are not romantic elements. Now, I never suggest that you get trapped in the friend zone if you want to try to reconnect with an ex or attract somebody in general. Escaping the friend zone can be very challenging, and hence I would always suggest that if you have romantic feelings for somebody, you can never accept an active platonic friendship. How you go about this and how you navigate this type of conversation is very important. You don't want to be negative, you don't want to be causing drama, but you need to get across that unfortunately you're not feeling comfortable with having an active platonic friendship. I call this active because what I'm saying is that you don't want to be spending physical time in each other's company. You don't want to be sending too many messages to one another. It doesn't mean that you can't exchange the odd message every few months or so. But what I would say is that in most instances, a clean break is best if you still have romantic feelings for somebody. It will never help you, and it will be very challenging for you to change platonic friendship into a romantic connection. Now, the second possible ulterior motive as for why a dumper might reach out to their dumpee is because they might want their possessions back. So if you've been in a relationship for a certain period of time, you would both likely have each other's possessions. You would likely have each other's items, products, possessions as a whole in your own individual houses. Maybe it could be in each other's cars. Maybe it could be on each other's person. Whatever the instance, there is a strong possibility that you will have something of your ex's. Sometimes a dumpee will receive contact from their dumper. They will feel very excited about this, but then unfortunately it becomes clear that the dumper is just wanting their possessions back. Now, I would always suggest being polite, being respectful, and acknowledging what the dumper is asking. Getting into an argument, being negative, being dramatic is not going to help you in this sense. I would suggest keeping things on point, agreeing to meet up and exchange the possessions, and not trying to flirt or change the meetup from what it is. Now, this doesn't mean you can't go into the meeting trying to re-attract them subconsciously. I would always suggest looking your best, smelling your best, and being your best. But certainly don't come across as desperate, obvious, or needy. Again, if you need help with this or anything else regarding breakups, relationships, reconnecting or connecting with new people, I do have an audio coaching service which could help you. Please check out my website, www.dateme.tips, if you want help and support with breakups or attraction. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent Bo, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent Bo got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.